Hi team, welcome back to another video here at HUMN. Today we're focusing in on compound lifting. So compound lifts are a fundamental part of functional fitness, of CrossFit, of muscle building and of strength training. They are movements that incorporate multiple groups of muscles to help you get nice and strong. We're going to have a look at a couple of movements, demo them and see which muscle groups are working together and how. Before we get into our demos, make sure you like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The support we've had from you guys online so far has been amazing, but the more support we have, the more videos we can make. So over to the rig. So compound lifts. Compound lifts, as I said before, are where you work multiple muscle groups to perform a movement. This is very different to the style of training you see bodybuilders do. They will do isolated training where they're working and focusing on building one muscle group at a time. Compound lifting and training is often seen a lot more in functional fitness and in CrossFit, and it appeals to day-to-day functionality. So a deadlift replicates quite well what it would be like to pick a box up off the floor. So why do we perform compound lifts? What are the benefits? Well, if you are slightly tight on time for your workout, it's a really good way to get a full body stimulus within a short period of time. You know you will have hit multiple muscle groups in a much shorter workout, which for some people is absolutely ideal. It will also help stimulate balanced muscle growth. You don't want to have one massive Popeye arm and a dinky little other one. You just want to make sure everything's nice and balanced. I'm going to go through a couple of demos of examples of compound lifts. We're going to look at the back squat, we're going to look at the deadlift, and we might even have a look at the bench press. So having a look at the back squat, I'm going to get set up. The rig is obviously set up correctly, but for the point of the video, I'm just going to swap it around so I can face you and talk you through the back squat. So here we have it, set up correctly. You want to make sure that your barbell is at about shoulder height on the rig. That's because as you're popping the barbell back, you don't want to be having to go onto your tiptoes. You want to step it in and drop it down. The barbell for a back squat is in our back rack position. From here, we're going to make sure we've got feet shoulder width apart. We're keeping our chest nice and high, sending our hips back, making sure we hip below parallel and finishing the movement by bringing our hips through at the top. Throughout the entire movement, my core was working, my quads, my hammies, my glutes, making it a really strong compound lift. So now we've had a look at the back squat, we've still got a couple other lifts that we can look at. I'm going to head over to the other side of the rig and we're going to look at the bench press. So this is going to be primarily focusing on your triceps, your chest, and a little bit of shoulders. So the setup for the bench press, we're going to find ourselves a bench. We're going to find ourselves a barbell, make sure we're all set up on the rig. Hands are going to be shoulder width apart on the barbell. From here, we press, fully extending our arms. We're then going to make sure our core is nice and tight. Lower the barbell down. A nice explosive press out of the bench press. Re-rack your bar. The wider your grip is, the more you're going to have a bit of a chest focus, and the more narrow your grip is on the barbell, you're going to probably hit more of your triceps. So that looks a little bit like this. Whoop-a. A nice wide grip, and then a much more narrow grip, getting your triceps to do more of the work. With a bench press, again, you're probably going to be hitting your core, shoulders, chest, and tris. So now we've had a look at the bench press, we're going to have a look at our overhead movements with a barbell. There are a couple of different factors in this which means some movements can be more isolated and some are much more compound-esque movements. For example, the strict press. You're going to be focusing primarily on your shoulders, driving the barbell up with your upper body strength, as opposed to a push press or a push jerk. You're suddenly introducing power from your legs with what we call the drive. So we go for a soft dip, squeeze our quads and our glutes, drive the barbell up overhead. So you are suddenly introducing quads, glutes, core, as well as working your upper body and your shoulders. That's a nice example of how a movement can start as an isolated movement, and as soon as you add another element, it becomes a compound lift. So that's 3 great examples of compound lifts. There are also compound movements within functional fitness and CrossFit, and they are a really good way to get a full body workout, especially if you've not got too much time to train. But in general, they reflect really well in day-to-day life. They help people become much more functional in the way that they move. If you have enjoyed this video today, as always, subscribe, like the video, hit that bell button, and we'll be back with more content very soon.